Hello and welcome to Wildcard weekend. This week is the first week of the playoffs. Chris, are you excited?
I'm pretty excited, yeah.
I thought
I
you
feel
got a
like,
little stage fright there. So
no, I mean, it's like mixed feelings because none of our teams are playing,
it
me,
is what
you,
it
or
is.
DJ,
What
which,
can you do?
doesn't happen that often, honestly.
Yeah.
At least one of our teams at least makes it.
Mm.
Uh, I wish the Bears were still playing for obvious reasons, but I think there's some good matchups out there for the first week.
No doubt about it. Last week was actually pretty interesting to close out the season.
Yeah.
I had one of the better weeks. I went 11-5, while everyone else didn't pass 9 wins, which was good in my favor because it put me within two of DJ and Steve. They've been picking the same games for about 2 consecutive weeks now, so it definitely
Yeah.
helps when they're close together instead of one of them really separating. So the season total right now is DJ. He has 178 and 94 losses, and so does Steve. I'm right behind him. 176 wins, 96 losses. And what about you, Chris?
I am tied with Matt for third, 171 and 101.
And then at the very end, we have Eddie, 168, 108. Eddie, come on. 164. Come on, dude. Come on. You got to watch the videos, man. Pick some games with us. But, anyways, what do you think of just overall Week 18 action?
Yeah, there are some good games. There's definitely some people out there playing for money,
Mm-hmm.
and not only that, but playing for the playoffs and different position seeds. So there were some good games. Definitely some upsets.
Mm-hmm.
Did not see the Lions beating the Packers or the Jaguars beating the Colts.
I was
And
really shocked with the Colts losing to the Jaguars.
yeah, honestly, me too, because the Colts are kind of a fun team. I think that could have brought a little something more, I feel like, to the table for the playoffs, but unfortunately, they didn't get in, so somebody else has to.
Yeah.
And they kind of screwed themselves over by losing to Jacksonville, which,
Yeah, they literally shot themselves in the foot there. To have the season that they had, kind of a rough start, and then having lots of ups and downs throughout the season, and then to really crash and burn at the end there because they lost a couple games to close out the season, which is not good, especially when you're trying to head to the playoffs. And it was interesting to watch that team in general, just because they did have the series on HBO of Hard Knocks and stuff like that. So seeing
yeah.
the behind the scenes was awesome. So I loved watching it. I might watch the series finale now that is coming out today. But aside from that, like you said, lots of a few big upsets, a few interesting games. How about that Las Vegas Raiders Chargers game? How'd you feel about the ending there?
It was a good game. I thought it was going to go to overtime, which it did. And then they both hit field goals in overtime, and
Mm-hmm.
then another field goal sends them pretty much into the playoffs and kills the Chargers' hopes and bumps up Pittsburgh, which I was surprised Pittsburgh was there because I really had Baltimore winning,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. And no Lamar Jackson, so obviously that kind of kills them. But Latavius Murray went off in that Pittsburgh game. Shout
Yeah.
out UCF.
Yeah, you see at the end of the game Austin Eckler asking some of their players are like, "Were you guys gonna kneel the ball?" And they're like, "Yeah." Like both teams would have went to the playoffs with a tie. So like they were about to send both of them in,
No way.
but they called the timeout with 38 seconds left, and they're like, "All right, we gotta run the ball now."
Yeah.
So they ran the ball, got the first down. They're like, "We're in range. Let's try it. I mean, if we make it, we make it. If we miss, we still go to the playoffs. So it doesn't matter."
Yeah.
So that was really interesting. But enough of that. Let's get into wild card weekend, and I believe I have the wrong game up, but we have the first game,
Las
which
Vegas.
is the Las Vegas Raiders versus Cincinnati Bengals. You can see that DJ's pick is already there on the screen. At the end of the video, we're gonna show DJ. He's gonna update us on pretty much his situation right now. He did get a job. He moved out of the state, so just a little spoiler. And someone else also got a job. Chris?
Yes, sir. I got a job as well working for CBS, so I'll be moving to Fort Lauderdale within 2 weeks.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
You'll hear it from DJ as well. Come out of his mouth.
Yes,
But yes,
sir.
this first game we have is the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
Good first game.
Yeah, I think these two teams played earlier in the year, and it was a pretty close game, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me double check.
I could be wrong, but Raiders haven't had the best luck all season. They've had lots of turmoil in terms of players, coaching staff, etc.
They played Vegas week 11, and Vegas won 32-13.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't very close.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think that is the same Raiders team and the same Cincinnati Bengals team that will be facing each other, or no?
Definitely not. That's after Gruden got fired, so that already happened. That might be right in the midst of the whole Ruggs thing, too.
Possibly.
I don't really remember how the timing stacked up, but no, definitely not the same. I know some guys on the Bengals are a little banged up, but I think everybody that matters should play.
They're pretty much their whole starting skill position players are all healthy, so that's going to be a huge factor in whether or not the Bengals can win this game, which is partially the reason I'm leaning towards the Bengals. The Raiders have showed us a lot this season, but something that the Bengals have done is be consistent, beat those teams that you like. If they didn't beat Kansas City, they more than likely would not have won the division and not be in the playoffs. So that win was huge for them, and that just shows like they have the magnitude to beat a playoff caliber team. And the Raiders are iffy on that end.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals. They're favored pretty heavily. They're a home team, which normally tends to help. Raiders aren't terrible away. They're 5-3 on the season away, but I'm gonna roll with the Bengals at home, even though they are 5-4 at home. Not overwhelmingly great there, but something about Joe Burrow has me wanting to take him over Derek Carr. Plus, I feel like it's gonna be cold in Cincinnati, and I don't know if the Raiders are used to that. So
being out in the desert and stuff.
yeah, so I think that might influence it. Like maybe not so much the next game where it's like New England versus Buffalo, but it's like a warmer weather city team versus a place that's probably gonna be pretty cold.
Yeah.
So
this first game, by the way, is on January 15th at I think 4:30 p.m. And then this next game that Chris mentioned already is the New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. This is the 8:15 game. So this is all on Saturday. And then we have Sunday's game. And then we even have a Monday game, which is a first time, I think, in the playoff history that there's a Monday game. But either way.
Says the high. I looked it up. It says the high for Saturday in Cincinnati is going to be 31 degrees.
Oh, and then imagine, like, with wind chill and stuff.
So
just imagine.
It's going to be pretty cool. I'm rolling with Cincy. Could I see the Raiders winning? Yeah, they're the same record, pretty close in talent and skill as far as how they stack up.
Mm-hmm.
And Burrow kind of looked like he got hurt a little bit.
Yeah, he looked like he got hurt there, but either way, let's move on to this next game. We have the New England Patriots versus Buffalo Bills. DJ did select the Buffalo Bills, and can't blame him. The Bills have been one of the better teams in the AFC all season long. They definitely have had their hiccups. That's why they're playing on the Wildcard weekend instead of possibly with the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
They did face a lot of tough opponents throughout the year, especially you match up where you finished in the previous season. So they played all number 1 teams. And they hurt them because Tennessee and I believe they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But that Tennessee game definitely, I think, put a hole in one of their sails in terms of how they were going about their season, because you lose a game in that fashion is not good for that squad. But they do end up winning the division, hosting the New England Patriots on their own turf, third time this season. Like DJ says plenty of times, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. But they did split the season series. So to beat them twice, it's tough. This is one of those games for me that can go either way between the Buffalo Bills and New England Patriots.
Well, so I'm going to just start off by saying I'm rolling with Buffalo. I took Buffalo in the beginning of the year to make the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure I had Buffalo Rams.
We'll roll the tape in one of the future episodes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's who I chose. I'm going to stick with them just because I really do like Buffalo. I like the team and I like the culture, honestly. Like, if I had to switch from being a Bears fan, maybe Buffalo might win me over, maybe. Might win me over.
You trying to jump through some tables or something?
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, it's hard. Like, you see them beat teams 40-0, 35-0. No, not to bring up sore subjects.
Yeah, you're good.
But and then they lose to the Jaguars and only score 6 points. And then it's like, wow.
I mean, the better Josh Allen played that day, dude.
What are you doing? The good thing for the Patriots, though, is Mac Jones has played the Bills twice later on in the season. So
they're more recent.
And he was more comfortable probably in those games since the first couple of them were under his belt. So a lot of people have the Patriots going all the way to a Super Bowl.
I don't know all the way about the Super Bowl, but this game is possibly winnable for them. They got to play their cards right.
And they have probably the best coach ever coaching them, which I feel like has a lot of influence because he's going to have them right. And as long as they can execute his game plan, they should win or it should be close. But the players still have to make the plays.
Are you trying to convince me to pick the Patriots, Chris?
You do what you want, but I would take the Bills at home. But I would not. It would not shock me if the Pats win. Although I'm tired of seeing them. I would love to see Miami here in this game rather than the Patriots. Honestly,
you can only control what you control. And I mean the Dolphins did have that big win against the Patriots at the end of the season. But for the Dolphins, it didn't mean anything. Even Dolphins win or lose, they still fire their head coach and all that stuff. So it definitely.
That's another subject.
Yeah, but
we talk about that a different day. But I don't agree with that.
Yeah. It is what it is. But I will be going with the New England Patriots just for this game. I think like all the stuff you said about Bill Belichick is way too true. And
you're taking the Patriots?
Yes,
Oh.
I'm taking the New England Patriots. As much as it hurts me to say it, I have to, just because I just like you said, like Bill Belichick, head coach genius, right? And as long as his players execute, especially after the loss they had last week to the Dolphins, they're like, yeah, this game could have meant something for them. They were actually still playing for the division. If they win and Buffalo loses, then they get the division. But either way, they were still fighting for something. They did not look good in that game, but if a head coach knows how to put his team back in place, I know it's Bill Belichick. So I'll be sticking with him.
I saw Folk might be out, the kicker.
Possibly.
That would really hurt. If he's out, I don't think they're gonna be winning. No extra points, no field goals. Who's kicking them?
They'll find the kicker. They'll sign like Ocho Cinco or something. Who knows?
That would be funny.
Well, the Patriots' former quarterback, who now resides in the western side of Florida. Yes, the Philadelphia Eagles are hosting the the Philadelphia Eagles are going to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers and Tom Brady, who made sure to get an extra couple throws in. That's what you were referencing when people were saying they were making money on Sunday.
Yeah, he helped Gronk out.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you need one more catch? Let's go. Let's go. But this is a rematch of the Thursday Night Football game from earlier season, which was one of the more surprising games in terms of you saw the Philadelphia Eagles give the Buccaneers a pretty good run for their money, but that was in Philadelphia. Playing in Tampa Bay now where the conditions may not be good whatsoever, so it might be raining the entire time.
I hope not, 'cause we're working that game, so we're going to be outside the entire time, and I really don't want to get sick or wet.
I'm definitely going to check on like
a poncho,
umbrella, everything.
Yeah, I'm going to bring everything. Hats, bro.
Maybe a swimsuit, who knows?
Yeah, a change.
But either way, let's reveal who DJ is going with, and by the shock of no one, he's going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that is one of his divisional foes. So I'm surprised that he's actually going with them.
Me too. But I think it's the easiest game, though, to be real.
You think so?
I think Philly is by far the worst team in the playoffs. And I don't really – I know Big Ben came out and say the Steelers are. And I was like, whoa, dude.
We're like team 14 of 14.
I know. I was like, well, number one, why are you saying this? But way to motivate your team. He's just already accepted they're going to get killed by KC. But we'll talk about that later. But I think Philly's worse than Pittsburgh even still, honestly. With maybe San Fran being the third worst.
So the Steelers are the second worst team in Pennsylvania.
I think so.
Well,
so I'm going with Tampa, if that wasn't clear.
Yeah. I'm going with Tampa as well. As much as Philadelphia has had one of the weirdest seasons, and to put icing on the cake, Jalen Hurts almost got crushed by Washington football fans.
By the thing?
Yeah. Well, by Eagles fans in Washington.
To be fair, also, the Eagles had kind of an easier schedule this year. I mean, they played some tough teams, don't get me wrong, but, like, I don't know.
They were in the top 10 last year. Like, you're in the top 10 for a reason in the draft.
When you play both New York teams twice a year, that's, 4 pretty easy games right there, just saying.
Well, 3 games because they played the Jets probably once. But, yeah, I'm going with Tampa as well. Just like me and Chris have been saying, Tampa's clearly the better team of the two, and when you add everything together, it makes sense to pick the Buccaneers. They're at home. They're the number 2 seed. I just don't see them flopping up, and this is the first Sunday game. But let's go now to the second Sunday game, and that consists of a big-time rivalry between the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys.
Does it seem like a rivalry for you, though?
Huh? No. But you just know because of the whole catch situation,
but like,
NFL history.
Does it seem like it's even a rivalry anymore?
I don't. There barely feels like there's any rivalries like anymore. Like the only one I could really say is Packers and Green Bay. Like that's the one true like. Someone's like say rivalry. I'm like Packers Green Bay. Like it just rolls off the tongue.
Packers Bears.
Oh yeah. Thanks.
But. No, I agree. It's definitely a good throwback, like, because it used to be big time. These fans did not like each other, and these were America's teams basically back in the day with 2 great quarterbacks and 2 great wide receivers on each side. But I think this one's easy. I'm rolling with Dallas. I really don't think the 49ers even put up a good chance, although I've been seeing people taking 49ers a little bit more seriously than I have. I know Amari Cooper just got fined for going to an NBA game, which you really don't think you're going to be spotted at an NBA game, but whatever. The Cowboys have been putting up points recently out of the last few games. They just played the Eagles, who we were just talking about, and they put up 50. 2 weeks before that, they played Washington football team, put up 56 or something.
Yeah, that game was crazy.
So I feel like that offense, if it's going to come down to a shootout, that offense is going to win. And I think this was one of the better Dallas defenses we've seen in a long time. So I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I can't blame you. I mean, Dallas has showed that they're one of the top teams in the, at least NFC, throughout the entire season. And right now, they're ranked at the 3rd seed, if I'm not mistaken. So they're there for a reason. They've been showing out and winning games throughout the entire year. And the San Francisco 49ers, on the other hand, have had an up-and-down season. Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt here and there. Trey Lance comes in and actually wins a game. So there's lots of potential there for the 49ers. I just don't think they're there yet to beat this Dallas Cowboys team who good on both sides of the ball, all three phases, special teams, kicking, defense, and offense. So I got to go with the boys here. But the road in the playoffs is probably one of the hardest ones out of everyone because they win this, and let's say Tampa wins, they face Tampa, and then they face Green Bay if Green Bay makes it to the championship. Yeah. So I think Dallas does have one of the harder roads in the NFL playoffs. So it should be interesting to see what comes out of this game.
I think it's also interesting that this is like 3 games in a row where and even the next one will be 4 games in a row where there's teams in this situation where halfway through the year we've kind of considered them throwing the towel in and like doing a whole rebuild, like, give Mac Jones some time, like let the Patriots be bad for a while. They're in the playoffs. Philly, like, what is even going on in Philly?
Yeah, no one understands that one.
And somehow they sneak in. San Fran, is Jimmy G the guy? Our defense is hurt. We for some reason are cursed at running back and can't have any of our running backs stay healthy. Is Trey Lance the future? And then same thing for Pittsburgh, like Big Ben. Like, is this his last year? Is it not? Can he still play? So I think it's interesting. These teams kind of snuck their way in, and I feel like one of these teams has to win.
They do. So is that what you're alluding to in this next game?
No, I'm definitely going with KC. I like my picks, but I feel like one of these teams has to win. I think Patriots probably have the best shot.
Yeah,
but
they probably do. But yeah, the game Chris is referring to is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And DJ is ahead and going with the Kansas City Chiefs as well as Chris is doing. And to the shock of no one, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs as well. Lock it in. I mean, these divisional, these wildcard games are one of the more easy games to pick throughout, at least throughout the entire playoffs, just because these people won their division. They're playing the home game. It's January football, but anything is possible. But I don't think this Pittsburgh Steelers team, like Big Ben alluded to, is good enough to get the win. They're more than likely one of the 14th teams in the playoffs, or if not the 13th at the very most. So they're definitely one of those teams that I want to say got in here by accident, but pretty damn near did.
I think they lucked out that Lamar wasn't healthy for an entire season.
Mhm.
Honestly, it's the only reason I see them there.
Yeah.
And Cleveland just doing Cleveland things.
Yeah.
Because they honestly should be here too, but. No, Najee Harris is questionable. Juju Smith might play, which could make this a little bit more interesting.
It could, but I don't see Juju Smith coming back on, like,
especially with his quarterback saying that.
Yeah.
Like, why would you? But
like, why risk a lot of things just to come back for a playoff game that you're more than likely, like, even at full strength, I don't think they win that game.
And even if you win that game, who do you play next? They probably play.
They play the number 1 seed.
Yeah, they play the number 1 seed. So
which
there you
is
go.
the Tennessee Titans, which
Yeah.
I think they actually do fare well against in this situation, but not if King Henry is rolling and bowling.
If he comes back, and then also, they can't stop the run. So, but I'm rolling with Casey. I think they should win this at home.
Yeah, easy enough. And then to close it all off, the final game, the Monday night game.
Good game.
January 17th, 8:15 kickoff. Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams. And
At SoFi Stadium.
yes, it is at SoFi Stadium. The Rams are hosting. I don't see – this is one of the harder ones of the entire games to pick because you had the Arizona Cardinals who were looking like one of the best teams in football all season long. And then till the end, they really hit like a bump and then like a fall, a stumble. They hit the life alert. They finally found the way in the playoffs. So definitely a weird situation. They lost the division right at the last second. So Arizona just not looking good right now. While the Los Angeles Rams are in the right trajectory. They're heading in the right direction at the right time, heading into the playoffs. Let's go ahead and show you guys who DJ is picking. DJ is going with the Arizona Cardinals. How do you feel about that, Chris?
I think he's wrong. Cardinals looked like the best team in the NFL for a while. And then started getting injured, started losing games. Young quarterback, lost 4 out of the last 5. Wow. The Rams, on the other hand, have won like 6 out of the last 7, I believe it is. So they're looking good after they kind of hit a bump in the middle of the year, which is a lot better than at the end of the year.
Which was more so around the time when they did the other moves for Odell.
Yeah,
Von Miller,
Robert Woods got hurt. They just got Von Miller. They just got Odell. So
I feel like it was like a reasonable bump for them to take.
I had Los Angeles going all the way this year, and I still think they have a good shot to do it. Anybody but the Packers, so hopefully they do. I really have a hard time rooting for an Arizona team to win a playoff game that J.J. Watt is not playing in. I'm sorry. Cardinals, I root for you. My grandparents lived in Phoenix, so I've always had a soft spot for Phoenix teams, but if J.J. ain't in there, I can't have you win without my boy J.J. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, a playoff game.
Turn down for Watt.
But like a playoff game, like I don't think it's a big deal. But like if
a Super Bowl,
but he could probably come back.
Has he even made the playoffs with the Tech? He definitely has, but
once or twice.
Has he even won a playoff game? That
probably won.
So for them to, if he hasn't and they win without him, I'd be sad. Cause like I just feel like he's an all-time great guy and an all-time great player. And yeah, I'm still gonna roll with Los Angeles. I feel like defense, they have the top 2 players on that side of the ball, and on offense, it's tough, but like they match up pretty good against a stacked Cardinals offense.
Yeah, and that's like another thing. Like this Cardinals offense has been pretty much the main catalyst because They did lose like a big piece. I wouldn't say the biggest piece, Patrick Peterson, but he was one of their more notable corners. You don't mess with Pat P when you play the Cardinals, you know. And
Yeah.
then on offense, you had
Well,
all
he's
these
not on the
weapons.
Cardinals anymore, is he?
No, not this.
He's on
not
the
Vikings
Vikings.
now. Yeah, he left in the offseason.
Yeah, because he's had an interception every year that he's played in the NFL, and it came down to the last game last week
Did he
against the
get it?
Bears. Yeah, he got a pick 6. So that's how I know he's playing now. Because they said that stat, and then a couple plays later, he gets it and takes it to the house.
That's one of those commentator curses. Type of
yeah, but no, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. The whole focus is mainly offense. I mean, they do have some studs on defense, Isaiah Simmons and so on and so forth. But
Chandler Jones,
yeah.
Buda Baker.
The big part of this team is their offense, and they go as Kyler Murray and pretty much DeAndre Hopkins goes, and then everyone else follows. You know, the big emergence has been James Conner. He's been pretty good for them throughout the stretch of the season, especially when Kyler was hurt.
Top 3 in touchdowns for running backs this year.
But it's tough for them to beat this star-studded Los Angeles Rams team, and that's why I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think they just have way more key players that could help them win this game, but I wouldn't be surprised with whoever wins this game. But it definitely feels like one of those games that's gonna go down to the wire, and you're gonna be like, "What's going on here?" Like pulling your hair out.
I feel like the Rams should win, bro. Honestly.
They should. I mean, it is a home game. They have all the reason to win this game. The Cardinals have every reason not to lose this game because they need to continue building upon what they started, and they were one of the favorites to win the NFC West. They ended up losing it. Now they're one of the favorites to probably make a run in the playoffs, but they have a familiar foe in their way, so they got to get through that first.
First few, they played each other twice, and they were pretty good games both times, pretty close. So this should probably be a good game. Although I feel like the Rams should have the edge, honestly.
Yeah, I believe you on that. But that pretty much wraps up wildcard week and first week of the playoffs. So
19 weeks now?
Yeah, this is the 19th week of videos, and
nice.
Appreciate you guys all for watching. Anything else you want to say, Chris?
Thanks for a good year. We're almost there. We'll be back next year. Picking games.
Yes, sir. And last but not least, we're going to show you guys DJ. He's going to go through all his picks and update you guys on his situation. But appreciate you guys for watching. And come back next week for the divisional round of game picks. Later.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy DJ Gamble. Playoff football is upon us. Best time of the year. Well, one of the best times of the year. Next to when football and basketball emerge. But, that's neither here nor there. Sorry I've been away from you guys. Haven't been able to bless you with my presence with the fellas in person. I've been transitioning to this new part in my life. I accepted a job out in Colorado. And, so I've been trying to get that started and transitioning to the new part. But you don't care about that. Let's talk about this playoff football. First game I want to talk about, Las Vegas Raiders going to Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, Joe Dirt, my guy. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. Austin gave us some good insight throughout the early part of the year, and I hopped on the Bengals bandwagon, and I've been trailing with them ever since. So don't see why I'm hopping off right now. Although the Raiders really had an impressive game, but the Chargers pretty much gave them every chance to win that game. So New England Patriots going to Buffalo. This is the hardest game and the last game I picked because I could see the Patriots winning, and I really want to pick the Patriots, but I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to go with my gut. The Buffalo Bills have a better offense, and they're playing at home, so I'm going to give them that factor. Philadelphia Eagles, Tampa Bay Bucks. Got the Bucks. Not really too much more to fathom upon that. 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. I really do like the 49ers because They got a good run game, and their defense has been clicking. And I don't know. It depends on what Cowboys offense show up. I'm going to pick the Cowboys for now, but the 49ers, I could definitely flop. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Kansas City Chiefs. I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Better offense. Ben Roethlisberger doesn't go out on a happy note. Sorry. The Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams. It's hard to beat a team twice. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. First-hand experience last year. I understand how that feels. So, for that sole reason, I think I'm going to pick the Cardinals to win this game. Although I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams win this game. But Austin's pretty much on my tail, or Austin and Steve is on my tail on the game picker. So, yeah, I'm gonna pick the Cardinals. Yeah, and that's my picks. Catch y'all boys next week. Shout out to my boy Chris. If they haven't told y'all in person, I don't want to spoil the news, but y'all can edit that out and I'll put it in there. But congrats, my boy. Hey, good shit, my guy.